Hi, pals. Hi, pals, and welcome to the Disneyland Paris Show. Here's your hosts, Lucie, Chris, and Hugh. Gosh. And now, Disneyland Paris news.
Eurostar's future hangs in the balance.
Avengers campus closes.
Euro Disney album official drops.
A thing happened then.
Were we doing
a
a voice?
thing happened, yeah. Hey there, hi there, ho there, Disney fans, and welcome to another Disneyland Paris show. I am Sleepy, one of the dwarves.
I'm Dopey.
Dwarfs.
Oh.
After all this time, Lucy.
She's sleepy. Leave her alone.
Do you know, the reason I've got this bell is because the first thing we ever did was reviewing Snow White, and I knew people were going to be saying dwarves, so I got this to correct you, and we've kept it ever since.
Hugh.
Oh, you must be grumpy.
Straight in there.
Which of the seven dwarves are you today? No, I'm sleepy because I'm sleepy because I've been working a very long, intense day today. And I haven't done the news. Hugh's done the news, so I'm gonna kind of take a little bit of a back seat in today's show, and see what transpires.
The headlines were a little bit clickbaity. I do admit. Yeah. So
is Avengers Campus not closed?
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
Are we talking news first today? Because you've got it up there. Do you want to go into the chat like we normally do?
Let's have a look in the chat before it gets too many to talk about.
Cool. Have you got your...
Yeah.
Who are they?
Oh, yeah. All aboard, please. Daisy was first in the chat today. Congratulations, Daisy. And Roz is here, related to Daisy, and received the Disney plate that she won yesterday. So I'm glad it arrived. I hope there were no chips out of it, but I wrapped it quite carefully. Thanks again to Manchester for donating that. It was the 1992 Euro Disney commemorative plate. Is it commemorative plate? It's more of a functional thing, wasn't it? But yeah, so thanks for donating that, Mark, and well done to Roz for winning it. Ross is in the chat also. So we've got Roz and Ross. Jimmy is here, and the Dunn family. Seb, hey everyone, been listening to the podcast for a few weeks now, as I've been, I have a visit coming up in April, but first time joining the live.
New friends.
Pleased to be here.
Got a message from Seb. I will read out later on.
And the Dunn family says welcome. Nathan is here. Nathan Smith. I knew a Nathan Smith at school. We were in a club called the Small Potatoes Club because we read a book that was called the Small Potatoes Club.
Was it just you and Nathan Smith in this club?
Yes, it was.
I was in a group called the Red Hand Gang because of similar reasons.
Oh,
I don't know.
Sounds extraordinary. Yeah, Aaron is here, and we have Jenny and Scottish Claire. Joanne is here along with Ryan. Who is Nate? Who says hi. Emma is here, and Anne and Cheryl and John. Wits Wanderlust, Miriam and Thea.
Good evening, all.
Hello, all of you, and
welcome to our little party.
And those that are just watching silently, hello to you too.
Can I just say it's really nice to see people who've been listening on the podcast creeping their way on a Sunday evening to come and watch us live and get involved in the chat and stuff. It's good. We like to see it. We love to see it. Creeping away, yeah.
Yeah.
Sneaking in. Are you just making sure it sounds all right?
It's just something like, even though you assure me it's fine, I just like to check.
Yeah. It's all right, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to be in charge of the sound?
No, you're all right. Just waiting for a bit where I talk.
Shall we? Shall we?
Do you know what? Actually, I was a bit quiet there when I just listened.
Well, you were clipping earlier, so I turned you down a little bit. I'll knock you back up again.
Should we get on to news, or are we interested in drinks?
Let's do a bit of news.
Yeah.
Like to get a bit of business out of the way. So the clickbaity headline, Eurostar's future hangs in the balance. I originally put future in question, but you notice I said hangs in the balance. It's not really true. It's just that with there are 30% fewer passengers, right? And there are now 14 services where there were 18 and pre-pandemic. And as we know, they don't go directly to the park anymore, which is a bummer. And Ashford and Ebbsfleet international stations are no longer stops on the route, plus longer border checks. Wonder why. And financial problems because of the pandemic. All means the future is unclear. Only in the fact that when questioned about it, the chief executive, Gwendoline Cazenave?
Go on then.
Cazenave? I don't know. She said, we'll see.
We'll see.
It depends on the way we can handle the big stations issues.
I mean, it's already not going to the parks. So when you say there are 14 services instead of 18, do you mean to Paris Centre or do you mean to Lille? What do you mean?
I don't know.
It's interesting though, because I saw some of this, and she actually, when asked about Ebbsfleet, she said we can't even think about opening that up again until we sort out the problems that we've got at the main hubs. And it comes down to what we saw a lot of in the summer when we went.
Yeah.
All that queuing and everything, because in order for the Brits to go through passport control, they have to get the passport stamped, and that's taking extra time.
Flipping Brexit.
Yeah, flipping Brexit.
Now, the thing is, we don't like to get political on the show. And it's a democracy.
Yeah, we do.
And you can vote how you like, and I respect that. But I'm just going to throw it out there.
Careful.
I voted Remain, and I stand by my choice.
Well, I would like...
That's all I'm going to say.
I would like to point out that it was an advisory referendum, and therefore, really, the public have no responsibility for what happened at the time of the actual vote.
Oh, in that case, definitely flipping Brexit.
The politicians made their decision and stuck by it. However, there have been numerous votes since in which the public have voted the way that they want us to go, and here we are. Well, this has got a bit political. Anyway.
Well, she said we have a main issue in Eurostar's terminals because of the new boarding conditions between the UK and EU, because of the impact of COVID, because of staff in the stations, because, illnesses and things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all sorts of things. So, just good luck to you all getting there.
And one definite tip is get there early. If you are going on the Eurostar, make sure you get there early, because people are actually missing their trains because they're not getting through quick enough.
I thought we would, to be honest, last time.
Were we actually the last in our time slot? Or were we? Did someone join right at the last minute? We were right at the back of the queue, and we just thought, "There's no way we're getting through." We got through, but the train left late anyway. But there'd been a knock-on effect all day. But that is the longest queue I've ever been in,
including Disney World things.
Absolutely, it was like as we walked down it went all the way down this row of like shops and cafes and things.
Then we turned the corner.
All the way I was going, oh, what? Oh, no. What? Every time we turned the corner.
Ask you, did you start outside? Was the back of the queue outside? Because it was when we went.
Wow. Well, hang on. No, it was. There were people queuing outside.
For the next lot.
But they were asking, what time is your train? And because our train was our time, we sort of joined at the end of one bit of the queue. But then there was an additional queue that doubled twice and went outside. Yeah. So we didn't go outside, but the queue itself did.
Horrible. It was horrible.
Ridiculous.
But once you get on the train, it's lovely.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, lovely ride, yeah.
And do you know what? I'm not looking at them because I'm not in the mood to book a Eurostar, but I've seen that I've been getting emails of a lot of special offers recently as well. So I wonder if they're trying to flog some seats. It might be worth looking.
Could be.
And I do think it's a good mode of transport, in my opinion. But there will be a queue. Well, there might be a queue. There was a queue for all of us, wasn't there?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It was worrying at first, but we got through. They got everyone through. Well, that time they did. Yeah. Should we see what people got in the cups?
Yes.
Hey, ole, it's showtime. All together. Your tiki cup in your tiki cup. Well, you made yourself a beverage, now drink it up from your tiki cup.
I think Lucy just needs to have a nap.
I do. I don't have an interesting beverage, sir. I'm just bowing out and waiting to see what exciting things you two boys have got.
Well, we're just drinking orange cordial.
We need to up our game a bit, don't we? We were saying this last
We need to
week.
get some fancy drinks in.
Yeah.
Did you not get exciting Chinese things when you went to the Chinese supermarket yesterday?
I went to 6 Chinese supermarkets in Birmingham yesterday looking for white rabbit candy. And I did see some mango milk, which I've had before, which you got me. But I was running out of space in my bag, so I didn't bother.
Oh.
Maybe next time. But yeah, we'll up our game because this is getting repetitive. But what's in your tiki cup out there, listeners?
Yeah, tell us what's in your tiki cup. Just while we're on it, Seb said, is there any way to make the Eurostar queue fun for children, or can I save their place and let them hop in a little bit later?
I think this is one of the occasions when you could save the place, because the way the queue goes, it's like almost like a shopping centre.
Yeah, there's
isn't
loads
it,
of
St.
room
Pancras?
to like sneak back
So
in.
you could just kind of duck under the barriers and stuff. It's not like theme park ones where you disappear. However, it can suddenly move surprisingly quickly, you know, in the let a batch of people through. So I wouldn't go too far. And then, how do you keep your boys entertained in lines? We've done a few things.
We just chat and mess about, really. I don't know. I honestly, truthfully, I don't know. When I think about queuing and what we do for the rides and stuff at Disney, I don't know what we do, but we always have a good time.
Could you imagine if there was like just something? I can't even like hypothesize like if it was an app or a game or, you know, a conversation. If there's just something that was so good and so brilliant and so innovative that you looked forward to queuing.
Well,
you'd be a millionaire.
I know a lot of families play heads up and get tournaments going and stuff like that, and yeah. You can make games. When we were in the queue with your family, we did that story game where you get a sentence each.
Yeah.
And every time we got back to one of your boys, they turned it into a toilet, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Or somebody died.
Yeah, that sounds about right. They must have been in that kind of mood. Lucas used to be great at those kinds of games, and now he's not quite as imaginative as he used to be. And Ollie's he likes to make things as horrible as possible. I don't know if you noticed that.
It was funny. It was all civilized and fun, and then it'd circle back to Ollie and go, and then he had a poo.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
Can you imagine if you just drop
it.
that into a serious novel? just completely in the middle of two paragraphs. Then he had a poo, and then you just went straight back to the story.
That'd be great. That's like the
Jane Austen does it all the time.
It's like the TV series 24, where no one ever goes to the toilet in that
No.
series ever.
No, but
You'd think,
I mean,
but they'd have to, wouldn't they?
suspension of disbelief. I mean, do you want to sit and watch him doing that for 10 minutes?
No, but they could just like show him opening the cubicle door and going in on one screen. They used to have like 4 or 5 screens, so it'd go, he'd open the door and go, and
just
then go to somewhere else for a second.
This is
Damn it,
distinctly
Chloe.
not Disney. I know I started it. But
Right, the other clickbaity headline was Avengers Campus closes. And that was just because Avengers Campus closes an hour early to prepare for the new show Avengers Power the Night.
that's very clickbaity, Hugh. That's very clickbaity.
Keep you on the hook. Maybe we won't put it in the thumbnail.
Avengers Campus
Maybe we
closes
should.
an hour early.
Should you put it in the thumbnail?
Is it every day?
Well, here's the thing. Kind of. It's the show commences at 9,
Okay.
so I guess they're kicking you out at 8. I
Okay.
guess. And it runs until 8th of May, but it's not on every night. But when I looked at the list of nights, there was only like a handful of nights it wasn't on.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is a nighttime spectacular, isn't it?
Yeah. So the
So
kicking...
they won't kick you out at 8. The park will officially close at 9, but that when it starts.
Yeah.
And then they kick you out after the show. They just stop the rides at
It's
9.
an
I
awful
think.
clickbait headline. That
Kick
here.
you out of the Avengers Campus.
Oh, Avengers
Oh yeah,
Campus.
because it takes place. It takes place up in the. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I'm thinking of the entire Walt Disney Studios. Yeah, okay,
But-
that makes more sense.
Have you seen some of the footage?
It looks da bomb.
It's a 500 drone show.
I saw Spider-Man.
Yes.
I think if you check out DLP Report on Facebook, maybe Instagram, they've got a full-on video of all of it if you want to see it.
Yeah. I
They
saw,
also they put Stars on Parade on yesterday on Facebook Live, and I sat and watched it and I thought, why don't they have a live camera feed on Main Street so you could just take in the ambience anytime you wanted to? How
Yeah.
amazing would that be?
Point
Because
right
that's
down.
what it was like. It was brilliant. It was really nice, really nice. It made me feel all magical on a Saturday evening.
I love me a drone show.
Ooh,
I love it.
There was a good Guardians of the Galaxy bit where they had music visualization equalizer bars
Oh, very good.
Just all lined up, all these drones in neat rows with like individual columns and then, the coloured bars jumping up and down. Very good.
Bravo, Disneyland Paris.
Yeah.
Bravo.
But the sign's up that says Avengers Campus will close early today to prepare for the evening show.
The Dumb family say can't wait to see it next week. Get you and your Disney trips.
The last bit of news, Chris, I thought you'd like this, was there's a Euro Disney album called L'Album Officiel.
Is it the official album?
And that's dropping. It's already dropped, I think. Is it official? It's pretty officiel.
It's the official album.
It's officiel, yeah.
Okay.
So
what's
DLP,
the translation of that?
Well, the translation is DLP has released its first vinyl record featuring music from past and present, right? And it's split into two sides, which are yesterday, or hier, and today, aujourd'hui. So music from past and present. We're talking. It's €25. Bit of vinyl.
In DLP or available in other places as well.
Oh, I should have noted where it was available.
This is why we don't let him do the news.
To be quizzed.
Hey, yeah. But I can tell you that some tracks that are on it. It's got Un Monde qui s'illumine.
The world is illuminated.
Ready for the ride.
Ready for the ride.
The article I read said, and it wouldn't be complete without "Ready for the Ride." I thought, what's that? I don't know what that is. It's also got
come back to me.
De la Terre à la Lune.
The land and the moon, or the earth and the moon.
Yeah.
Earth and the moon.
Un voyage à travers les temps.
Again.
A journey through the
voyage
trumps.
à travers les temps. I think that's a journey
through time.
Traveling through time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's music from Phantom Manor, Pirates of the Caribbean, Star Tours. Would you get a vinyl album such as this, guys?
I want this. This sounds to me like what my record player wants to have on it.
I'm going to find out where it's from.
I would need
DLP,
to know how good the front cover was, to be honest. Because I judge a record by its cover.
It's all right. Yeah.
John
It's
Parker's
alright, it's
saying "Ready for the Ride" is a bop, and I just can't bring it in my head. I better know it if you play it.
Harrington's Storybook Store, Disney Gallery, and Studio Store.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Listeners will have to look it up, but viewers, if you can see this on my phone,
looks like that. Oh, it looks good. I think we need to get a couple of copies of this, one each.
maybe we do. But you say that, but then all of a sudden you drop in €50 in one go.
Yeah, true.
Ouchie. I tell you what.
I'll figure it out.
Oh, I do recognise it.
Right, turn it off before we get in bother.
I'll tell you what, Chris.
That's
let's
ready
get
for the ride.
Let's get one copy and I'll tape it.
Tape it.
I'll tape it and then I'll.
Oh, for me Walkman.
Yeah, and then I'll break the tabs so you can't accidentally erase it.
There was lots of things in the chat. People were talking about the games they play in queues.
Yeah.
I feel like we should be going back to it.
Yeah, let's go back to the chat because I haven't had the chat up because I've been.
Whilst you're looking though, Miriam said earlier when we were talking about tiki cups, just plain water for me today, and I read that as plain water, like water from an aeroplane, which I know is not that amusing.
I only drink plain water.
That's the condensation off the outside of the window is kind of harvested and purified.
Yeah.
Plain water. Are you looking at the chat, Huey?
The what? The chat? Yeah, I'm just trying to pick something out.
So what games were people playing in queues then?
Well, that's what Hugh's looking at because it's all gone off the screen. But one of them was I went to the shops and I bought. That's a good game to play.
Memory game.
Guess the character, I think, was one of them as well.
We call that In My Blue Teapot. I've no idea why, but we go, in my blue teapot there was a mouldy banana. In my blue teapot there was a mouldy banana and a...
Small potato.
In my blue teapot there was a mouldy banana, a small potato and a...
Sorry, what?
Sorry, what?
Sorry, what?
I'm reading.
Yeah, but yeah, that game. That's the
in a
same
minute,
game,
he's going to
isn't
give
it?
us an answer, like he does.
I'm vamping until Hugh can get back in the chat.
Well,
Anyway.
Miriam says, "Oh, you say tap water, right? Sorry, I'd forgotten. Yes, we do, but plain water's fine. I knew what you meant after I'd reread it. I just read it wrong.
I haven't got to any games in queues yet, but Dunn Family says driving to DLP is best. If you want tips, I will send a link to my guest appearance on a podcast next month. That was that Disneyland podcast. Was it?
It was.
That Disneyland podcast, not to be confused with the Disneyland Paris Show.
That's us.
Oh, were they called that Disneyland Paris Show?
There is that Disneyland Paris
podcast.
Let us know the Dunn Family. Just remind us exactly which one it is, because there's about 4 of us with very similar names. Yeah, but who's best? Who's best?
We're the best.
No, we're gonna have to fight and find out. So if anyone's doing another show similar to ours that we'd like a fight, do get in touch, and we'll meet you down on Goofy Lane, and we'll
go head to head.
We'll have at it.
If you had to enter a member of 37 Disney Street into a prize fight, which member would it be?
Oh, stop trying to butter yourself up, Lucy. We know it would be you.
Yeah, you know I'm hard. Yes, I like driving too. I do the driving and I like driving, but I always do it in 2 parts. But Hugh doesn't, because it just takes too long and it's a bit boring for you.
That Disneyland Paris podcast. Oh,
Doing
sorry.
his time delay thing
again. When I'm reading, and I suppose it's true of anyone, you don't hear anything, do you? When you're reading, you don't hear.
We're live. Like, just
It's fine.
the concept here, Hugh, right?
It's
We're live.
fine.
I kind of like it when this happens, because it's always a surprise to me. When I repeat what you've said, I look up from the chat and I say it, and then you two go, oh.
Is it like 39 days later, you've just come out of a coma and caught up with the conversation?
Lucy literally gave it to you as an answer when you were asking what it was called, and then you disappeared back into yourself.
Scottish Claire says, do you know what it reminds me of? 39 days later. Here's another thing that we always do as well.
28 days
We
later
always
as well.
do this. We've got a bit now. There's a bit. We need a jingle, Chris, called Hugh's repeating what we just said a second ago, please.
I also think I got that wrong. Is it 28 days later? It's not 39 days later.
Can we just play this really
Yeah,
low?
you're thinking of
'Cause I feel like it.
39 steps.
I feel like this gets it across anyway, kind of.
Yeah, hang on. 28 days later.
Keep talking at the top of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, should we get to some trip reports? We've got lots of trip reports to get through.
Do a trip report, then I'm going to
stop
talk
that.
Nathan Smith, who would like to reform the Small Potatoes Club.
Ooh.
We can't reform it with the original member, the other one, I'm afraid, for obvious reasons. But it's quite dark, isn't it? But he did pass away.
Oh,
Just to make that clear, I would like to buy it. I collect vinyl and have all sorts of weird and wonderful ones. Oh, Nathan, so do I. In fact, I only have weird vinyls.
I don't.
Even though it's not Disney related, it is so worth you doing a show and tell of your vinyl collection.
I will, actually.
I would like to see that.
One time.
I won't do it on this channel, but I'll do it my own. Hugh Rain. Check me out. Subscribe. I've only got 200.
My vinyl pretty much consists of old Oasis 7 inches. I don't even like Oasis, and Super Furry Animals, and that it wasn't U2, but whatever they were called, Miss Sarajevo song. Do you remember that?
No.
It was Bono and other people. They sang a song called Miss Sarajevo. Yeah, that's what I have.
That's what I got.
That's what I got. Some of them were worth bits of money now, I would imagine.
Yeah, I just get like really awful like ones. As long as they've got like an exotic cover.
I envy that.
Trip report.
You want to do a trip report?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, any trip report?
Any
Yeah.
trip report?
Oh, okay. Well, I've got lots and lots of stuff today, that's all. There's been all kinds of things. Here we go, hang on, let's do this.
Audience trip roundup.
I'm going to do shout-out type things first, just to let you know who's been in touch of late. So we have a lot of trip reports banked up, so we might get through a couple today, potentially. We'll see what happens. Some of them, like Jenny Weirs, who's in the chat today, is very detailed, and there's some images that I want to use, so I'm going to have to do a bit of work on that, so that won't be this week, Jenny, I'm afraid. Other people with trip reports are Sarah Poland, Lawrence Wheatman, Andy Millen, and I've also got a new one from Carla Cascarini as well. We've also had people get in contact with us this week via email. We've had Matthew Phillips, we've had Mark, I can't remember his last name, we've had Sebastian O, who's in the chat today. Cheryl Yates has been in touch on Messenger, Pamela Strachan as well, talking about a mango cup.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was speculation as to whether it was the mango whip returned or just a cup of mango pieces, which I think it was.
Well, I don't need to read that out now because that's exactly what it was.
Oh, okay.
I might do though. I might just
Yeah,
read that
yeah.
one out now actually because
Yeah, do it.
because we're already there, aren't we? So that was Pamela. Pamela said, podcast and YouTube follower here and mutual musical theatre geek. Have you seen this on the web food truck? Could this be a mango whip or is it just mango chunks? And I'm getting overexcited. And as you say, it's a picture. It says mango cup and it's €5. Somebody go check that out for us.
I bet
Done,
it's a
family.
cup of
Get
mango.
down there.
That sounds like a fruit salad
It does.
situation.
Yeah.
to me.
Probably with laughing cow cheese.
That
Yeah,
was
I wouldn't
the
surprise me.
perfect opportunity to use that gif of Hawkeye as Ronan saying, "Don't," and Black Widow says, "Don't what?" and he says, "Don't give me hope."
Oh, Hawkeye though.
Who is Nate loves super fur animals,
Jeremy
Chris?
Renner.
I love
Oh,
super fur
yeah.
animals.
They're amazing.
I have a
We all
massive
do.
love of,
We
yeah.
do.
We all love super fur animals.
We've been and seen them.
Up until Phantom Power, and then I
Live
got a bit
together.
like,
We did. We saw them together, didn't we?
yeah. My favourite is Rings Around the World.
Rings Around the World is good. Paul McCartney plays a carrot.
Oh, does it?
He chews a carrot on receptacle for the respectable.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
Hmm.
Sounds like Mad Libs.
It does a bit. So do you want a trip report? Should we do a trip
Yeah.
report? We'll do a trip report. This one is from Sarah Poland. Hi, Sarah. Hi, I considered sending you a trip report after our trip back in the summer, so this is an older one, but if you're planning for the summer now, it could be rather apt. But I decided then that I had nothing new to report other than things that people would already know, and I still don't. But after watching our New Year's show, I've thought about it again, and I think I might be able to offer some insight for those travelling with older teenage children. A little background first. As a family growing up, we were very lucky to be able to travel to Walt Disney World in the early days when there was only the Magic Kingdom and you bought books of tokens for the rides. We enjoyed many holidays and watched the parks grow. I continued to go as an adult, travelling with groups of friends until about 10 years ago when, due to grown-up commitments, we decided to embrace DLP. I now realise that I may never go back to Walt Disney World. Too big, too expensive, too far with life's commitments. My heart belongs to Walt Disney World, but DLP has the Disney magic that I feel Walt Disney World had lost. This year I decided to take my 17-year-old niece and 15-year-old nephew on their first once-in-a-lifetime Disney trip. In hindsight, I realised they'd agreed to come just to humour me, my nephew admitting that he was dreading somewhere full of little screaming children and baby rides. Thinking about it, they've never really been Disney kids. Being of a generation that missed out on Wonderful World of Disney bank holiday specials and too early for Disney Plus, their exposure to Disney films has been limited and they didn't really know what to expect from the parks. But they came to keep me happy. That's nice of them,
That's
isn't it?
really
That nice?
interesting, though, looking at it generationally, though, because we're children of the Renaissance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it was big when we were little for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm a bit older than that, I guess. I'm only a few years older than you, but
But I mean, you were culturally exposed to it. You know
yeah.
what
Oh,
I
yeah, I
mean?
was. Yeah. Yes, you're right. So here's a few observations on taking older teenagers. As always, I booked the first flight of the day so we could spend a large part of the day in the parks, forgetting that meant being up at 3 o'clock in the morning. The journey went smoothly and we checked into Cheyenne around 11 a.m, dropped our bags and headed to the village for lunch. Then came my first adult compromise, in quotation marks. The gates to the park were right there. The magic was calling me. I needed to see the castle, but I also wanted the kids to really enjoy their first taste of the parks. And I knew that soon tiredness would kick in and they would become irritable, so we took a slow walk back to the hotel and had our first of what would become daily nana naps. That's what Laura calls them, nana naps.
Did you all have one or just you? I wonder.
That did the job, and we were able to fully enjoy the late afternoon, evening, and fireworks without any teenage tantrums. I booked the Cheyenne because apart from being the right price, it was the only hotel that I could find where we could have 3 separate beds that weren't bunk beds.
Yeah.
Not ideal for large teenagers or aged aunts.
Good point.
Can't help
Interesting.
thinking that for a family resort, there is a serious lack of truly family-suitable hotel rooms.
I agree.
Yeah, I do as
And
well.
that's why they've then got David Crockett. But you do make a compromise staying at David Crockett.
Well,
because you're basically off site.
If Dan and Becky, if my brother Dan wants to go and take his family, they've got their daughter Harriet, and then they've got twins as well. So it's 5 of them. So they have very little choice really of what it is that
David
they
Crockett,
do. So,
Village Nature.
yeah.
That would be my advice.
Well, yeah, possibly. And they do like a centre park, so maybe that's the way to go. Surely there's not many siblings of any age that happily share a double bed. Very true. We loved the Cheyenne. It was comfortable. It was a comfortable bed for the night, and we enjoyed the walk back after the fireworks, giving us some time to reflect on the day. Extra magic hours were a struggle with teenagers, nothing else to say on that, but Nana naps were a must. Some days we went back to the hotel, others we found quiet spots. Up behind Cowboy Cookout was a great spot, and just sat, relaxed, or dozed until everyone was ready to go again. My nephew also used the shows to get an extra nap in.
Oh yeah, I do that.
Yeah. Everyone says take snacks. Well, with teenagers, take even more snacks. Their snacking is constant. And just as you take things to occupy younger children in queues, teenagers need something too. Stops them niggling at each other. We downloaded quizzes and games onto our phones and enjoyed involving, entertaining people around us. That's very nice. How's sharing? For me, it was refreshing to see the parks through the eyes of my niece and nephew. They had no expectations and were happy to go with the flow. We went in August. It was hot and busy. We decided how long we were happy to queue for and didn't join queues that were longer.
That's what we do.
Yeah. The parades and fireworks blew them away, and they chose to watch them every day, standing back from the crowds, happy not to have the best views, but being totally immersed in the magic. What I really wanted to say, as you were saying on the New Year's show, is that everyone takes away something different from their Disney experience. When asked about the favourite parts, my nephew said sitting by the water, having a pineapple whip, and sharing that time together.
Oh, that's...
My people.
You can go with Hugh.
Yes, he loved the rides and the roller coasters, but he also took time to notice how happy everyone was. My niece cried watching Goofy leave the parade to gently touch the faces of some disabled children. And of course, that made me well up just reading that. I literally got choked then.
Just give us a minute, guys. Can you put the card up, Chris?
No, I can't. I can't see the buttons. I'm lost. Of course, we all shed a tear at the drones and the fireworks.
I'm lost.
DLP isn't about the rides, it's about the magic and wonder you can see everywhere. You might need to slow your pace and put your phones down to see it, but it is most definitely there. When I stopped and looked back down Main Street for one last time when leaving and said, I wonder if this will be my last time ever, my niece laughed and said, of course not. Needless to say, what should have been a once-in-a-lifetime trip for them is being repeated this year. The Disney blues are real. Yes, they are.
And when that's so beautiful. That sums it up perfectly, doesn't it? Oh, I'm tearing up now.
And when asked what their priorities will be, it's pineapple whips and character meats. Apparently, they aren't people in suits anymore. What do you mean they aren't people in suits anymore? Excuse me? I shouldn't have read that out.
They've never even tasted a mango whip. Imagine how life-changing it would be if they did.
Oh, a mango whip.
Thank you for taking the time to read and giving us your time on Sunday evening, Sarah. A long-time early Monday morning viewer, as I can't make the live shows.
Oh.
That was a nice one.
That was a good report.
Good morning. What
Made us
was
all
it,
cry.
Rebecca?
No, Sarah.
Sarah. Good morning, Sarah. Enjoy your week. That's really cheered up my Sunday night. There was some magic in that trip report, wasn't there?
Just to keep the loving going, Cheryl Yates messaged at 6:38 today, and I thought this was a really nice message as well about DLP.
AM or PM?
Oh, PM.
Okay.
As I was getting ready, as I was making sure I got everything in my bag, including the charger for the laptop. She said, back from my first ever visit to Disney World, and surprised to say I prefer Disneyland Paris. The best way to describe it is that DLP is a town and Walt Disney World is a city, and I don't like cities. It was amazing to see, and Rise of the Resistance was amazing, but I found myself saying ours is better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
do that a lot.
do that. We've done a whole show on this, I think.
Pirates is better. Small World's better.
Mm-hmm. Phantom Manor's better than Haunted Mansion.
Phantom Manor's better.
Yeah.
Space Mountain's better.
Peter Pan's better. Space Mountain, Peter Pan.
Yeah.
That's what she says. From the parade to the small world, and especially the outside of Haunted Mansion that just looks like a normal house. I will appreciate our little park even more now, and being able to walk between the two parks without a 15-20 minute bus ride is a cherry on the cake.
Big Thunder's better.
And then later on she says, I just realised that should be the cherry on top, not cake. I'm still tired, I think. I'm just glad we only did a week because that was enough for me, feet and wallet. I did enjoy the Tiki Room, although I think it belongs in the 70s. And the Muppets was one of the best things there. Honestly, was good. There was a penguin orchestra playing and I was blown away. But there you go. Isn't it nice for people to go and see the big one?
I think I've said before, it's like your Tesco Extra or your Tesco Express. You get the same kind of products but one's just got that convenience and that locality and that You know what I mean? But we have always said that our Disneyland Park is better than Magic Kingdom. Always.
With a nice little park.
It's
haven't
just the volume.
Miriam says, my mum is in a wheelchair at Disney because she can't stand for very long, and Mickey gave her the biggest hug yesterday on Central Plaza. I wept a bit too thinking about this too.
Just don't. I can't bear it. It's all too magical.
Nice.
Before we do another trip report, I'm just going to talk pins.
Yeah,
for a
go.
second.
You talk pins.
This came up a few weeks ago. I can't even remember how long ago it was when we were talking about pin trading in Disneyland Paris. And I was saying that in Walt Disney World, they'll just trade any pin for any pin. Whereas in Paris, you have to trade the same sort of grading pin. And they've got this really complicated way of grading different types of pins that I just don't understand. And it makes it off-putting. But I mentioned at the time that I traded a Zum Zum pin for a limited edition Disneyland pin, and I promised I would remember to bring it down and show you, and I've remembered this week.
Hey.
So we will tweet this for listeners, but I'm just going to...
I've got longer arms than you, so I'll...
Yeah, do this one first.
Oh.
So this is a Zum Zum chip, but I think I traded a Zum Zum thumper. So just to see the kind of grade that it is. It's a bit...
We were saying before, these are almost disposable ones, these Zum Zum ones, because you get loads of them. But if you were just collecting these and you had loads of these, it'd be good. It's like actual Zum Zums. We said before, haven't we, Chris? That, they make sense. When you've got about 40 little Zum Zums, they make...
all facing outwards.
They make sense. But when you've got like 3, they're nice, but you're just like, well, what do I do with these?
Yeah.
But when you've got a basket full, then they're fun. And I think it's the same with these pins. So these are always on the boards because people don't want them. But Lucy managed to swap this for... this huge one. So, listeners, how do you describe it? It's a Disneyland
I'm going to lean
one.
right forward and then you talk.
It says Disneyland on it, so it's Californian one, and it's got that's Sleeping Beauty, isn't it? But
Aurora.
She's in a blue dress, and it's got the 3 fairies. They move but just a little bit. It's a bit pointless.
But look at the difference in sort of
But the fact
size.
that it just came out, and Lucy said, "Can I trade for that?" And she said, "Yeah, I've just put it on the board." So any longer, like 5 seconds later, that would have been gone, wouldn't it?
So there's a real fun in Disney World kind of going around and like
They'll take anything.
scoring. Do you know what I mean? Like actually scoring a really good pin. And Disneyland Paris, I almost wouldn't recommend you pin trade in Disneyland Paris.
You have literally
It's not
been
fun.
sneered at.
Oh, I have.
I'm serious.
I've had eye rolls, and also when when I was like, oh, what can I trade this for? Instead of explaining it to me, the woman, and there was nobody else waiting to be served, the woman just handed me a piece of paper with the rules on, and she was an English-speaking cast assistant.
She might as
cast
well have
member
been
as well.
smoking.
She just went like that and shoved a piece of paper at me, and it was a full sheet of A4 with paragraphs I had to read, and I'm like, I'm not going to stand here and read this. So I just like shrugged and walked away. I'm just going to tell you, I wouldn't recommend pin trading in Paris. It's not fun. But yeah, in Disney World, you can actually get some.
You must be grumpy.
It's not me, Grumpy.
I love how we've gone from talking about the magic of Disney and how wonderful it is.
Yeah,
to
and saying
this.
that our park's better, apart from this.
Yeah, this is the one fly in the ointment you can't pin trade.
Also, they will run the finger across badges, and if they are smooth, they're fine. If they have little dips in them where the enamel hasn't filled up as much inside each compartment, they say, no, this is no good. I used to think that like the smoother it was, it would seem cheaper.
Yeah.
And the more textured ones kind of had a bit more to them, but actually it's because they have not been filled with as much enamel, so they're actually cheaper. So yeah, a smoother one. I think the smooth ones they just don't have the same appeal as the
I
scrappers.
completely agree with you.
I've always said I do it for aesthetic reasons, and I like the designs, and I like collecting them, and I don't give a monkeys if they're scrappers or not, to be honest, as long as I like the pin itself.
Do you want me to tweet this or something?
I would love you to.
I'll put it on Instagram as well. If you want to find it, look for the hashtag 37 Disney Street pins.
Nice
Pins.
hashtag choice.
All one word. Well, that's how our hashtag works, isn't it? We don't have to say that
Right.
anymore.
Shall we,
Well, I've got some messages and stuff, so shall I go with some of those and then we'll do another trip report afterwards? You can maybe read a trip report if you like.
I'd love to.
Okay, so this is from Sebastian, who's in the chat, or at least I'm assuming, Sebastian, that it's you, because you're Sebastian O, and this is Sebastian Olway, which is also an O. Hey gang, I'm returning to DLP after about 15 years. You also put that in the chat earlier. This time I'll be going with my wife, mother-in-law, and taking my 2 children, 5 and 2 years old, as we wanted to enjoy the magic through their eyes. I'm sure it'll be the start of regular visits mirroring my childhood. Thank you so much for the podcast and videos, which have been so helpful and enlightening. Sounds like there have been quite a few changes, but I'm looking forward to getting back to a place I really love. Plans at the moment, we're staying at Santa Fe and have reservations for Pin Kitchen, Remy's, and the character breakfast. We'll be there for 5 days, getting the Eurostar over. Thinking first 3 days in Disneyland and then 2 in studios. What would be your top tip for arriving at the park about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon for the first time after having got off the train? I'll be sure to drop a trip report when we're back. Thanks again, Seb.
I would say use the luggage service if you qualify for it. I don't think all journeys qualify, do they? I don't know.
The luggage, I think you have to be going straight to DLP, don't you? Are they doing that? I can't see.
So that you can just dump your bags and go straight to the park. That's my first advice. And then I would just walk straight down Main Street and straight through the castle.
Yeah. And on to Small World if it's reopened by then. When are you going?
But you are likely to hit peak crowds or potentially the parade. It's really nice when you can walk in and the parade's going. And often, if you're arriving at 3 o'clock, there's a good chance that that's the case. But you can't guarantee that. So
Miriam says, yes, take a spot for the parade.
Well, one of the most magical times we ever had was we walked in during the Christmas parade, and you know when they've got a place where the crowds cross and then the cast members block it off as the floats start to come by. We just got there, so we got right to the front, and Bonnie was 3, and they just made a big fuss of it. It was magical. Anyway, I would take that time to just walk down Main Street and soak it in and listen to the music, and I wouldn't prioritise certain rides or anything. You can do that in early magic hours the following day. Just go straight down the castle, say hello to everything. Just walk in a circle around the park without going on anything, marvelling at the wonders that you are and the happy place you are in. Am I getting all emotional in my tired state?
A little, but I think that's fine. I think it's good.
Get a grip.
Is the audio a bit echoey today? I've just noticed it's coming back through our feedback speaker, and it doesn't usually. It's just caught me off guard a little bit. Not to worry. I have another message. There's some questions and all sorts going on here. Matthew Phillips. Now, you might remember Matthew. Matthew's been in touch in the past because he was due to go to DLP on a very similar holiday to the one that we were due to go on in the May when we were staying at the Disneyland Hotel. But he's been in touch for a number of reasons. So here he goes. Let's see what he said. He said, I hope you're all well. I've been catching up on the show via podcast for about 2.5 years, and I'm so grateful to you all for all the tips and information you've provided, and really enjoy the show. We're going to DLP in just over 3 weeks, staying at Sequoia Lodge. This is the 3rd attempt at going in the last 2 years. The first trip we had booked got cancelled due to COVID in March 2022, which was almost identical to the one that Chris had booked. DLH with all the trimmings. We also moved our December 2021 trip due to my partner being pregnant, so hoping it's 3rd time lucky. We're a family of 5 and have 3 kids, 2 girls aged 8 and 5 and a 7-month-old boy. I've recently found the Q&As at the end of the show really useful, so I hope you don't mind me asking a few of my own. I've tried to ask specific questions that you haven't previously been asked before, but apologies if any of these have been asked. Number 1, baby swap. How strict are they on this? Is it permitted to swap both parent and child with the other parent and child, i.e. parent A and child A goes on the ride first, and then parent B and child B goes on the ride second, with the other parent staying with the baby, if that makes sense?
Even better than that, the children, I believe, can ride twice. It certainly used to be like this. Yeah. So it's the parents that are swapping. So parent A can take both child A and B, and then parent B can take both child A and B on again. But the system for it is different at every ride, and the entrance that you have to go back to is different at every ride. Sometimes it's the disabled entrance, sometimes you go in the exit or whatever. So just ask the cast member before you get in the queue, can we baby swap and how do we baby swap? Sometimes they will give you a pass as you get off. You have to ask as you get off, can I have a baby spot pass? Sometimes it'll be as you get on.
Yeah, check at the start.
Yeah, before as
When you
get
say
in
at the
queue.
start, when you get in the
When
queue.
you get in the queue.
Right, okay.
When the first parent gets in the queue, just ask.
Your first cast member that you see, ask them, basically. Because, they'll let you know who to see. So, yeah, because I'm thinking of Phantom Manor, and, I would... There's, a little hut, isn't there?
There is.
I'd ask someone there, and they'd probably... But then I think you actually get it off the person at the end of the ride. That's what we did once.
Phantom Manor's a weird one because I couldn't work out how to get in, how to get back in, how to use my parent swap to get it back. I can't remember how. I think there's a side entrance that they take you into.
Do you just go up the stairs?
No, you don't. You miss out the stretching room. I think there's a side entrance that took us in.
Oh.
I can't remember. I remember having to wander around in circles a bit and then ask. Anyway.
I've just realised his list of Q&As all begin with the number 1. Oh. Number 1. Number 2, number 1.
That's autocorrect, though, isn't it, on lists?
Payment methods in the park. Historically, I have always taken cash with me, euros, but I've heard you previously mention alternative method but can't remember the details. Prepaid card. Is there an additional charge for using normal debit credit cards in the park?
Okay. We've always used... I'm doing all these answers. Is that
No,
all
that's
right?
fine. Yeah, you jump in. It's good.
We've always used a card called the Revolut card.
Other cards are available.
Other cards are available. It's basically a currency card. I've just sold my mum on this, actually. You order a credit card, and Hugh's about to flash it at you without the numbers, I hope. And you download an app, and then you load money onto the app the same way you would with any mobile banking, just transfer funds into that account. And then you change the money on the app into whatever currency you want, and then you just use it like you would a debit card.
This matches our background.
It's iridescent.
It's got the ombre.
But there's no fees. The fees are embedded in the currency, in the exchange rate, and the exchange rate is excellent compared to what you get in supermarkets and post office and stuff. So you barely feel the fees. The only thing is, it's $4.99 to get your card delivered, and that's not even for the card. That's the postage for the card, but they have to send it special delivery. So you do an upfront payment of £5, and then you get this card. Just load it up with currency. Am I able to put a link in the description?
For Revolut?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can do.
It's just I've got a referral code.
All right, here we go. Well, hang on a second. Can you put my referral code
Is that
in,
allowed?
please?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Is this allowed? Hashtag not sponsored.
Well, I think I'm just telling you, I've got a referral code. You don't have to use it.
If you
do your
want to
own
use the
research.
if you want to do the referral code, drop us a message. Do it that way.
Yeah, if you want it, we'll take it in turns to give you
We
one.
could clean up here.
Yeah.
Well, they get money as well as you getting money, don't
Yeah,
they? So,
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, it's just we find it really convenient. But the thing is that we do as well is I save up all year, so I put a little bit of money in every month into this card, and then I keep my eye on the exchange rate and change it when the exchange rate's high. And last year I really did well with that because it dropped after I changed it, and also I've got it all changed into dollars at the moment because we go to Walt Disney World in 2 weeks. When I come back, any money I've got left over, I'll change it into euros for when we go to Disneyland Paris. So you can just keep changing because it's always a pain when you've got cash, isn't it? And you end up with 20 euros left over, and there's no point changing it back to pounds, so it just goes in a tin in the living room.
We didn't take any cash with us last year.
I take $50 folded up in the back of my wallet just in case.
I do half and half.
Just in case.
I have that many.
I wouldn't even do half and half if I was you, Huey.
I think I've got so used to my Revolut's on my Apple Watch, so I don't even need to get the card out these days. I just hold my watch up to stuff.
People are recommending Monzo. Dunn family say Monzo is amazing. £5 each. I don't know, is that the referral?
It's probably to get the card. Because you have to pay to get the card for Revolut as well.
Lucas has a Go Henry card, and he used that when we were in Paris last year, and it worked absolutely fine as well. Worked really well.
John is recommending Curve. You can add up to 5 credit debit cards and choose which one you want to pay with. There was another one.
Are we nearly there yet? Said how long, Lucy? And I'm not sure what question you are asking that about.
Mm-hmm.
So just clarify that one.
There was another one somewhere. Are we nearly there yet? I have a Nationwide Flex Plus current account Also comes with travel insurance and 0 charges.
I mean, I just used my NatWest account, to be honest with you, when I went for a lot of it, but I did have a Revolut as well. Yeah.
I don't want to use my debit card. I don't want currency charges, and I don't want to accidentally get in the overdraft or anything like that. And you can't do that on Revolut because you've got a finite amount of money.
That's very true. Very true.
About 16 days is the answer. It was how long till Walt Disney World?
Oh, 16 days, yeah. Exactly.
Next question: birthday badge. What is the process for obtaining one, and are they worth it? We're going to celebrate my daughter's birthday, but not actually in the park on her day. Would it be cheeky to get a badge for her to wear on the day after her birthday? And are they going to ask for evidence?
No! Get a badge. Lie. Tell them anything. Tell them you're celebrating anything. Nobody knows.
Lucie
and it is worth
kept hers
it.
on all week.
I did. I kept my 40th birthday badge on for 2 weeks.
They have them in hotels when you get. You just ask from
Yeah, you can get from like
hotel from
all
pretty
sorts
much
of
anywhere.
places.
You can
Shops
get
have
them-
them.
Well, in Disneyland Paris, your most reliable bets are City Hall and Hotel Concierge.
Yeah.
You could probably get them in shops as well, but
They'll tell you where to
Yeah.
go if they don't have them
I'll
there.
tell
don't
you
they?
where to go.
And finally, early magic hours. Do you know what rides and attractions are open in the main park? The girls are desperate to see Stitch, but I know how popular he is and how big the queues get. If we get him for EMH, can we start queuing for Stitch then? And what time does he appear? We were hoping to see Stitch do big... no, hang on, there's a comma there. We were hoping to see Stitch do Big Thunder Mountain, Phantom Manor and Pirates in early magic hours, but I think this might be slightly too optimistic.
the characters don't usually come out in extra magic hours.
Well, no, maybe they
I'm
don't.
wondering if I'm wrong about that.
We queued for Stitch straight away when we went in last year.
In early magic hours.
And we wouldn't have been until half an hour in, I would have thought, because of the queues to get in. And I think he came out at 9. So I think we were in at 8, and I think he came out at 9 o'clock. But we only waited 40 minutes then. So I would say if you want to see Stitch because he's very popular, get in the queue.
So yeah, what I was going to say is I don't think he'll appear till 9, but tactically you're best to get in straight away.
Play what's in your blue teapot because
Yeah.
Stitch is blue, and
Is Stitch Live still on?
Stitch Live's still on. Still on, yeah.
Stitch Live.
Do go see that. It's great.
That for me is way better than meeting Stitch because the kids get to talk to him. It's not guaranteed. He picks a couple out, and talks to them.
He picked Lucas out when we were there.
He normally says, "You got a girlfriend?"
Yeah.
Oh, did you come in when we went there? I can't remember.
No, we didn't see it with you. That would have been nice to do together,
he
I
picked
think.
Lucas out,
That would have been good.
We've seen it about 3 times, haven't we? And,
I really enjoy it.
It's great.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Really recommend it. So it's like it's an animated Stitch on a screen, and he's talking to the room live. So it's like a live interaction. It's really good.
It's really good.
Emma's saying that Stitch is there in EMT.
Yeah, I thought he was when I was
That's
there.
in Hollywood Studios, by the way.
Stitch Live's in Hollywood Studios. Stitch is at the bottom of Main Street.
Adventureland is closed for EMT. Right. This is difficult because it's, in theory, extra magic time changes.
Early magic hours.
Early magic hours can change at any time, and it changes regularly. However, in my experience, Discoveryland is always open, but Autopia isn't. I don't think Space Mountain is, but Buzz and Star Tours and things are. Fantasyland is all open. Adventureland isn't. They didn't used to open Frontierland, but they've started doing Big Thunder Mountain. Not sure about Phantom Manor, but the
Check
thing
on the
is,
day though, because it does change.
yeah, they'll have boards in your hotel, and you'll be able to find out from cast members if you're there the day before, find out from cast members or at City Hall, because if you go in 3 weeks' time, any advice I've given you could be totally different.
But also, Matthew, bear in mind that once those gates open, yes, there's going to be more people there, but those people have got to get through the gates, so you've still got time to go to probably 1, maybe 2 of the main attractions before the queues get really built up anyway. So so thank you for that, Matthew. He just says, P.S. if you haven't already scratched it off, you can add Wales to your map of listening locations.
Yay!
There you go. I said to Hugh before we started, somebody's told me that they're in Wales, and I couldn't remember who it was.
Have you got a list going on?
No,
You do.
have I?
It's right there.
Oh, Wales.
Wales.
Yeah.
I think there's a few more than that, but
I started making this last week. Let us know where you're from.
I've got one more email, just a short one to go through, although I think this might be a difficult one to answer. So let's just see how we go. I've tried to find the answer out for you. So this is from Mark Kilvington. I'm travelling to DLP in May for a few days, and I've been told there is a limit on items purchased from EU countries brought back to the UK. I've looked it up and now I'm lost. There is so much information online, I don't know if I'm overthinking it. If I buy personal items, gifts from the park, is it... and if it's over a certain amount cost-wise, do I have to declare it at customs when returning to the UK? I'm not talking thousands here. £500, £600 of Disney merch is what I'm looking at. I don't know if I'm overlooking and overthinking this, but any help from you guys at 37 Disney Street would be appreciated immensely.
First of all, for the second time today, flipping Brexit.
Yep.
Second of all, I've no idea.
I think it's about £390 is the limit. Before you have to start declaring, I think. Don't quote me on this. There are UK government websites which will tell you the numbers, the actual numbers, and you are supposed to declare after that. So I'd be very irresponsible to say, oh no, just hope that nobody checks your bag. But
Lucie winks.
No, Lucy wouldn't do that. I've got something in my eye.
Maybe think about the £400 mark instead of the £500 to £600 mark.
But also, you can claim your tax back.
Yeah.
If you keep your receipts and then go to City Hall, I believe it's quite a simple form and you can get a decent amount of money. But if you're thinking of spending that much money on merch, could be worth doing. But once again, for those in the cheap seats, flipping Brexit.
Do you know what's just occurred to me for the first time ever? Rather than having my phone down here to my left and looking down all the time and sometimes turning away from the mic and going a bit quiet, I can just put it here in front of me like this and I don't have to move.
Well done, Huey.
Thank you. I'm learning and growing.
Problem solving. I've just realised I offered to read a trip report, but I haven't brought my glasses to the table.
Ah.
So I can, but I will have to run in there first.
Well, you can if you like. I'm just looking to see if we've got a shorter one. We don't. That we can use.
Where are they? I'll get them.
Well, just bring my whole handbag. It's a Disney vintage poster handbag.
I love these little moments. These are my favourite moments when all of a sudden you kind of, the magic just stops and we walk off to do something menial like pick up a pair of glasses. It's my favourite.
The magic never stops in this house, Christopher. You know that.
The magic
I don't.
never
Oh, it
stops.
might be.
I'm just looking to see if I've got any other things to share whilst I'm waiting. Oh, yeah, I have got another message. Hang on. Right, so this one is from Neil, who messaged us last week. I can't remember if it was on Instagram or on Facebook. But Neil says, hello, I just want to say I love the podcasts and videos. I listen and watch whenever there is a new vid. I'm off to DLP in 5 weeks for the first time. And I've got so many tips from you lot, especially Lucie's videos. So thank you so much. It's nice, isn't it?
Welcome, mate. Welcome.
What about my video where I showed all the different Hawaiian shirts I've got?
Oh, I like that.
Didn't you get any tips from that? The main
What not
takeaway
to
from
wear.
that was peacocks actually do some all right shirts.
do you know what? One of my favourite things at the moment is we get messages through, obviously on YouTube and from videos and things, but the number of messages from people who really appreciate your tip about about being the magic. It's just brilliant. So many people come through and say, I love that last tip.
Oh,
Just think that's
I'm
really
such
nice.
a tea towel philosopher.
So you're going to
do tea towels.
I can add tea towels to the tea public if you like.
Do it.
Here you go. Here's a trip report. It's from Lawrence Wheatman, I believe.
Lawrence.
It's quite a long one, but
Wheatman.
Okay.
Should start doing those voices.
Hello.
Good start. Well done, Lucy.
I've got a trip report from Christmas, but I'm going to try and report back in a way that emphasises generic things that will help people right now.
Ooh.
I am trying to take advice from your recent episode. It's not necessarily short, but I'm splitting it into themes that you can pick and choose or summarise. Good tactic. We appreciate this, Lawrence.
Oh, you just pick and choose a few of them if you want them, or just go for it.
Well, let's start at the beginning and see how it goes. Booking tip. Don't have more than 3 children or take a friend. That kind of comes a little bit earlier than the booking. unless you're very distracted in the bedroom.
I like the next line. We've made the mistake. We've made the error of having 3 children.
It was a massive mistake. Well, Lawrence, do you know what? I think the British education system has failed you somewhat in the biology department if that was a mistake. Although your brother, it was genuinely
My brother was genuinely a mistake.
he ordered 1 and he got 2, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
So-
I thought you meant my brother was a
No,
mistake.
no.
I thought you'd been talking to my mum and had a conversation that I've
Yeah.
not had.
Yeah, they had a surprise twins the second time round. Anyway, they're lovely. I'm going to start this again because it amuses me. We've made the error of having 3 children. It was a massive mistake. They're lovely, but most places don't cater for family rooms of more than 2 adults and 2 children. And
talking
your
about this earlier, weren't
your
we?
priority should be the comfort of your Disney holidays, not the size of your family, not your children. Disney has limited larger family rooms. So the 3 times we've been to Disney, we've had to have 2 rooms. You see, that's very expensive, isn't it?
It is, isn't
They
it?
need to get more of these pull-down units and things. We've stayed in Santa Fe twice and Cheyenne once and have always had adjoining rooms with an optional door between, meaning you can make it into a bigger room. We found that there is almost no difference in price between taking 2 adults and 3 children in 2 rooms between taking 3 adults and 3 children. So each time we've ended up travelling with a friend or a mother-in-law. Yeah? Fine.
Makes sense.
Why not? Why wouldn't you? For our most recent trip, it was only £60 more across a 3-day, 2-night stay to take a 3rd adult. We paid what we'd otherwise have paid, letting our friend get a super cheap trip, but you could also agree to split the cost more evenly. It's so lovely to share Disneyland with someone new each time, exploring new things with them and experiencing it in your new way, and with extra pair of hands is easier to split up if the children want to do something else. That's bonkers. That's bonkers that you can take a 3rd adult for £60. I mean, first of all, I believe I have £60 if you want to take me, Lawrence. Third, and Hugh's distracting me because we are over an hour long, and he's like going, "Come on, come on."
But Lawrence has nicely portioned this up so we
has.
can stop and come back to Lawrence another time. So that's good.
Shall we? Hang on. How many? Yes. Let's come back to Lawrence. He's got some good points. He has some good points.
It'd be interesting, Lawrence, for you to price up what the difference in cost would be if you didn't take the children instead of bringing in extra adults.
How much would kennels cost? I'm sure you have lovely children. We all have lovely children.
I'll make a note so we don't forget to resume Lawrence's...
Resume with Lawrence. But, I mean, that's a good point. But I can't help feeling that Disney are missing a trick. Because I think that's going to put a lot of families off. Mm-hmm. Right.
So, I just want to say, Jenny in the chat said, we saw Pooh in early magic time in the summer. I'm sorry to hear that, Jenny.
Did somebody clear
I'm
it
sorry
up?
to hear that. Come on. I'm allowed one of those per show.
Oh, what?
Okay.
If you've got trip, can I do that bit? Mm-hmm. If you've got any trip reports or questions, because the questions are great actually, it's really helpful because it gives us things to talk about. If you've got any questions for us about your upcoming trips, if you've got any advice you want to send through to us, we can talk about that. If you want to tell us you think we're ace as well, you can do that as well. You email us at mailbox@37disneystreet.co.uk, or you can get in touch through Messenger on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, and let us know what's going on and what you want to know. If you comment on the YouTube videos, I don't tend to pick them up quite as easily, so you're less likely to get added into the show, just so that you know, being brutally honest. I'm more likely to respond to you directly on there than I am to pick it up and put it on the show. I don't know why that is. It's just how I do stuff, innit?
Yeah.
That's just the way that it is.
We all have our ways.
But yeah, get in touch with us. It's good. You guys make our show.
But don't touch us.
Yes.
Do you know what we're doing now? Do you know? We're going to do an extra 20 minutes just for our Patreons on anything you want.
Disney Street Pals.
Yeah. If you want to become a Patreon, you can follow the link in the description down below. Am I saying
you
it
can
right?
follow the link in the description below.
Below. It's only £3 a month, but you keep us in microphones. We're currently trying to work out some...
Yeah, what I'm trying to do at the moment, here's my big brain idea is, if we had wireless microphones like lavalier one. I always say lavalier. It's a habit thing. I know it's lavalier. It's just a habit thing. I call them lavalier.
All right.
Lavalier. So thank you. I've been testing out lavalier microphones to see if we can get so that we can move about a bit more. Then we can get things like a camera up over there where you can't see to put up the scratch map, or we can go over there and make drinks, and we can do things a bit more spread out, but also so we don't have to sit like this next to each other every time. We can actually space out around the table a little bit.
I like sitting next to you like this, Chris. You warm.
Extra Magic Time link isn't working.
Oh, righto. That's interesting.
Lucy, are you going to do a...
I'll fix it, don't worry.
Have you done a video where you just talk through your pins?
No.
Do that?
That was going to be one I did for Christmas because I've got a load of pins that need to be put on my lamp. So it could be a good chance to do it.
Keep talking for a second just so that I can help out all the guys who are going to join the EMT link in a minute.
Okay, what's your favourite colour?
Of pin? I did get some pins out earlier to just try and find a Zum Zum one. And I think what I'm going to try and collect when we're in Walt Disney World this time is these Russian doll ones. Oh, unfortunately, that's green. That's unfortunate. But they're all in different princess dresses. This one's Tiana. And so I'm going to keep my eyes out for that while we're in Walt Disney World, which, as we just said, is in 16 days. And I am not prepared. So what are we going to talk about on
It's
Extra
all right.
Magic
Would you?
Time?
I don't know. Go on. But if you know that, I was going to say if you want to end, then we can do.
Okay. I've been Lucy. These have been...
wow.
It's always so sudden. Thanks,
I'm going to post a link
joining.
for everybody in a second.
Thanks for joining us in your chat and everything. And sorry if we've missed anyone in the chat. We don't mean to. There's a lot of you. So keep trying. We'll get you in the end.
Yeah, I made that quick. I was just vamping until you said it was okay to finish. So now I'm finishing. I've been Lucy. These have been the boys. Goodbye.
See you later. Bye.
Peace.